There's one major mistake that makes your drawings look like a beginner made it. No offense. Let me show you something very embarrassing. Look, this is my standard figure drawing process. First, the outlines. As always, I start with the outline. You see that? As always, with outlines. I should know better, and I still do it. I don't know, maybe it's the pressure of talking to you guys without seeing you, or maybe it's my habit that keeps coming through. The outlines, actually, they're not wrong. The great masters, when we look at their drawings, we see that they have the outlines, but they did not start with them. They were not using the outlines first. When you start with an outline, you kind of trigger your brain to think in words and symbols, and you start drawing those words and symbols. Today, I'll give you 3 very simple exercises that will break that habit for good, really. All you need is just a pencil, white paper, and a bit of music. Let it be jazz. You know, when jazz musicians sit down to play, they don't start with the main melody. They start with the chaos, all that noise and sounds, and they're searching. And I think they're searching for that very special feeling they need to have. And then, out of nowhere, the melody appears and they play it. But what happens next? It goes into variations. Beautiful variations. You feel push and pull in the rhythm and the light and shadow. And it's actually not just how the jazz works. The great masters were drawing the same way. They were drawing the music. No, let me explain. If we're talking about outlines, they did not start with those outlines, because those outlines, they are that melody they were searching. They started with this chaos on paper. Us, on the contrary, we do start with the outline. And when we start with an outline, our brain plays this very particular trick on us. Let's talk about this. You know, I've been drawing and painting for decades, and I've been teaching drawing. I know the theory. I teach the theory. And every time I start drawing, I go for the outline. Why? Because it's safe to have the shape first. But it's actually very strange. It's a trap. When you start with those outlines and you have your first shape, your brain tells you, okay, you found your shape. Now you can start with filling it with details. And this is exactly the moment where your drawing becomes just a coloring book for children, really. So what did they do? All those great masters, how did they start with their drawings? Think about it like it's the jazz music. It starts with chaos, then the melody, and then the variations. And you see, when we look at the drawings of great masters, we see the finished product. Well, they might be not finished, but they might be just sketches, but we see it as a finished product, and we do not analyze them. We think, okay, that's what they did. I see the outlines. They probably did it like boom, and the drawing is there. No. I don't think it worked like that. I don't think it works like it now either. Searching, finding, and variating. So what I'm doing today, actually I was gonna make a painting, 2 paintings with this composition, a still life, and I will show you this in the next video. I will be painting this composition based on Pontormo's beautiful painting, just to show you how unpredictable the light can be in a classical painting. Pontormo actually had not just 1 light source, not 3 light sources, he had more than 5, I think. So subscribe and stay tuned, because you'll see these 2 paintings in the next video. Anyway, I have this composition, and I will be drawing the lemon, the onion, and the cherry tomato. We'll do 3 exercises, very simple, but again, very strong and powerful. And I think you'll enjoy them. Okay, the first exercise is the 3-value. 3-value squinting, actually. Yes, as painters, we do it all the time. We squint, not to see better, but to see worse, to lose the details and to see the main shapes. So I will squint very much, to lose everything, all details, and to see only 3 things: dark, midtone, and light. 3 values. And we will be drawing those 3 values. The main rule here is not to draw the lines, not to make outlines, but to start with the largest, darkest shape you see. And actually, I would encourage you not to use the tip of your graphite, of your pencil, but to use it flat. This is also one way of breaking one of the traditions we're used to draw with a pencil the way we usually would. When you take the pencil and you start drawing something, you will use the tip of your pencil. Your brain instantly goes in the mode of making outlines. And when you start making those outlines, your brain will tell you the words you're drawing, the symbols. We don't want that. So use the pencil very flat. No, I don't want to do those because I need outlines. I need something clear and understandable. And that's exactly what we want. Nothing clear, nothing understandable. The next exercise is the negative space. Welcome to the space. It's very negative today. It is negative. We will be drawing the empty space, everything around the object. You are not allowed to draw the outlines of the object. I'm not making outlines. I'm not making the shape with the lines. I'm making it with the negative space, with everything around it, the background, the air, the shadows around this object. And then you'll see that the object will appear without you directly drawing it, and you will see the outlines around this object, but you never touched them. You never made those lines. Let me tell you a very cool thing, and that's actually what sculptors do when they start working on a figure. What Michelangelo said one time, he said, if you have a piece of marble, the figure is already there. You just have to remove everything what's not the figure. Isn't it cool? So cool. I love it. Now, the third exercise is chaos, jazz chaos. This is my favorite because this is like the analogy with the music itself. I would encourage you to put on some jazz music while you're working on this exercise, because I would say that jazz music is not something we'll listen to every day, I would assume. And when you turn on something what you're not used to listening, then your brain is also a bit confused. With this music, you're already breaking your traditions, and it helps a lot. So, jazz music. Then set a timer for, let's say, 60 seconds, a minute. And what you do next, you just try making chaos on paper. Lines, circles, whatever, just chaos. Like that jazz composition, the chaos, trying to find the melody, the search. So that's what we're doing here right now. And it might look at first that you're wasting paper. Yes, you're wasting paper, but that's what artists do. We do waste paper and materials. So it's a good thing. So when the timer goes, you stop making that chaos and you look at what you have and you try to find that object you are supposed to be drawing, actually. You're trying to find that object in those chaotic lines. You will have it, I'm pretty sure. Now you can circle them, reinforce the outline, and that's your drawing. It's not finished yet, but it's already there. Now we have to go into variations, destroy some things, reinforce something, change something, like jazz. If you want to be closer to that Baroque or Renaissance experience, then that's what they've done. They did jazz on paper. The interesting thing is that the masters, they knew it, and they were not afraid of that initial chaos on paper. We are, but they weren't. Because I think they trusted the process, they trusted themselves, they were not afraid of experimenting, and I believe they were 100% sure that the melody will come. We want to have that melody, that beauty right there. That's exactly what the beginners do. It's okay that they do it, but they keep these outlines. I'm just kidding. It's also good, but it's just, it looks very beginner-like. So I showed you 3 exercises today. Three-value squinting, the negative space, and the jazz chaos. Try it this week, all 3 of them. They're like 5 minutes each. Yeah, and tell me in a comment how it went. I want to know. And do a good deed today. Don't start with the outlines. And while you're thinking about doing those exercises or not, you can watch that video. I'm Dimitri Ross, a figurative artist in Amsterdam, and I will definitely see you in the next video. Don't miss it. Ciao, ciao. So I showed you 3 exercises. The 3-value squinting,